Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would seem as if members of the progressive left still can't contain themselves. You see, just earlier today at the National Prayer Service, which is a celebratory prayer held each time a president is inaugurated, a highly progressive bishop used the opportunity to lecture Trump on various woke issues. And no, I'm not kidding. So, hey, I'm going to let you guys watch the video, then we're going to have a lot to talk about.
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples.
Absolutely shameless. This progressive bishop abused her position within the church to lecture the recently inaugurated President of the United States of America about her woke progressive agenda. And you can just see on Trump's face, well, pretty much everyone's face, that they just can't believe what they're hearing. They're like, is she serious? Is she really doing this right now of all times? And so, hey, let's actually really break this down. She starts by saying that LGBTQ kids across the country are scared for their lives. I'm sorry, has Trump ever said anything about ending the lives of LGBTQ kids or anyone for that matter? In fact, I seem to remember that Trump was already president for 4 years between 2017 and 2021. Was he going around executing LGBTQ people or anything like that? Yeah, I don't think so. In fact, hey, let's be honest for a minute. The only reason why an LGBTQ kid would be scared of Trump is because their psycho parents have been injecting lies into their head. Because these just aren't things that kids think about. Kids aren't obsessed with politics or what sort of policy the president has. The only reason a kid would care about this stuff is if their parents are complaining about it all day. And honestly, forcing your kid to be a progressive activist is probably worse for them than anything Trump might end up doing. So she then goes on to say that not all immigrants are criminals, which is true. My wife is an immigrant from Germany. She's not a criminal. You know why? Because she came here legally. However, for the illegal immigrants that Trump wants to deport, guess what? They are criminals. Literally, all of them are criminals. They are in this country illegally in violation of our immigration laws. Terminologically, they are all criminals, and this is why they need to be deported. So, to be clear, Trump isn't coming after legal immigrants, only the illegal ones. This bishop is just using her platform for fear mongering and agenda pushing. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I personally think it's absolutely shameful that a bishop would abuse this situation at the inaugural national prayer service of all places to push her insane, woke, progressive baloney. Now, after the sermon ended, the press actually got a hold of Trump and asked him what he thought about the service. Take a look at this.
Mr. President, what did you think of the sermon? What did you think of the sermon? What did you think of
What
the
did you think of the sermon?
What did you think? You like it? You find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I didn't think it was a good service, no. Thank you very much.
He didn't think it was a good service. I wonder why. Maybe it's because he wanted to have a nice religious experience, but instead had an insane progressive woman ambush him inside of a cathedral and try to lecture him like a kindergarten teacher. And now I do want to say real quick, guys, if you enjoyed the videos, please consider subscribing because it really does help a lot. But anyway, I'm sure you're all sitting here wondering who exactly this bishop is and why she was allowed to get up in front of this podium and lecture the president. Well, her name is Marianne Budd, Washington, D.C.'s first female Episcopal bishop. And according to her online profile, she believes it's her divine calling to use her position within the church to advocate for LGBTQ+ issues. Now, here's where things get a little bit crazy. You see, Bishop Marianne Budd actually has a public history of political activism. In fact, check out this video from just a couple years ago during the Black Lives Matter riots.
Why did you want to come out here and send
Their
this
message. It is a message of a call for justice, for swift justice for George Floyd, for systemic justice for all brown and black people who have been under the knee of this country in ways that we have witnessed time and again. This is wrong. And this rising up, this spontaneous uprising of people mostly half my age or younger, they're the ones we should be listening to.
And they're angry at the president.
They're so angry.
They're angry at the president. So what is your message to President Trump today?
Well, I've given up speaking to President Trump. We need to replace President Trump. We need leadership that will lead us in the ways that this country deserves.
Thank you. Thank you.
You hear that? She's given up on speaking to President Trump. If only that were the case. But so this bishop actually has a long history of far-left radical progressive activism, and she's publicly said that we need to get rid of Trump. So how did she, of all people, get to preach at our national prayer service inside of our national cathedral? You would think that this event would be kept professional, sacred even, but no. It was hijacked by a clearly insane far-left radical progressive who used this incredible and once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to push her crazy far-left agenda. And hey, I think even if you're not religious or you're not a Christian, you still have to understand that this is just not the time or the place for this sort of behavior, which is why it's so crazy to see someone who's supposed to be a religious authority, a bishop of all people, behaving this way. But you know what? Maybe events like this are sort of like the final breaths of the slowly dying woke beast. Trump is back in office, the nation has rejected this sort of behavior and really this entire ideology, so all they can do is publicly lash out in a final act of desperation. And so when you really think about it, that's actually probably exactly what this is. They've lost, they know they've lost, and they know there's nothing they can do about it. Also, I have to wonder, every once in a while you see articles saying that church participation is on the decline, especially with young people. Do you think it might be because of bishops like this woman? Regardless of how strong your religious convictions might be, I feel like most people just don't want to sit there and be lectured by someone like this for 2 hours a week. In fact, I have to wonder just how strong this woman's religious convictions are versus maybe she's just using her position to spread her own progressive agenda. Because I'll tell you what, it seems like this bishop has a pretty extensive history of crazy far-left behavior, and I personally wouldn't blame anyone for avoiding her sermons like the plague. But hey, I think that's all I've got for you guys with this one. We really do live in crazy times, and personally, I'm just happy that things do seem to be returning to normal despite the best efforts of this insane progressive bishop. But hey, I want to know what you guys have to say about this, so please go down below and drop a comment. Please like the video if you liked it. Please consider subscribing. It really does help a lot. Thank you all very much for watching, and of course, as always, stay safe.